Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Herman Erdmann, the CEO of Redisa, and I'm going to try to, in 15 minutes, give you what took us 11 years to build, but let's see if I can do that. First of all, I would like to start with explaining to you what Redisa is all about and what we do. South African government approved a waste plan, an integrated industry waste management plan. What that means is that we have in South Africa approximately 38 existing waste streams from all sides. If you're talking about electronic waste, if you're talking tires in this case, if you're talking packaging industry, and one of them, the first one approved in South Africa, was the waste tire regulation. With the waste tire regulation, what happens is that we have approximately, maybe I should let everybody take a seat first. So what happens is that every manufacturer of tires in South Africa pays at current Redisa R2.30 a kilogram. That R2.30 a kilogram amounts to about 600 million rand per annum, and we use that money in order to build a viable recycling industry. And basically what I'm saying to people is, well, everybody would recycle. So everybody would go out there and recycle if there would be money in it. The reason why people don't do it is because there's no money in it. And as soon as you place money into it, there is value in recycling and people want to operate. It's clearly shown by the figures which we have, whereby at this moment in time we have about 230,000 tons of waste tires in South Africa, and we have application for dealing with them for about 1.3 million tons of tires. So we are 4 times oversubscribed. What happens here is that we are in a process in allocating this. But what I would like you to speak to you is about the concept of this and how revolutionary it is. Because what it says here is that you're going out and putting the value. So on the one side, in terms of value putting in an industry as in theirs, is that we have to look at what recycling actually does for you. So here we're going out and having tires which have no value to you on the one side, and as we're dealing with them, and as you're putting money into it, so maybe the best explanation to that would be that you're actually taking a 20 Rand note to put it to every one of the passenger tires. And once you put in this 20 Rand note to the passenger tires, what happens is that now all of a sudden there's a value. Everybody wants to then recycle, and once you're recycling it, you're now wanting to create a secondary industry which actually leaves with that. And if you just look shortly back, there's a great opportunity in future in resource management, because if we ain't going to go out and start in looking at our resources and manage them in a more efficient way, then obviously in terms of opposition to other countries, it makes us less competitive. So what South Africa has done is we've gone out and started with the first project where we're actually going out and putting in a waste tire plan, which now puts value to the tires and creates with that a whole industry down the line. We framed, and worldwide there's a concept into that which is urban mining. So if we just look back and we're seeing where we're getting our products from and how it actually operates is that we are getting our products from the urban areas. I'll give us an example. If we take the SALM in terms of it, if you have a ton of cell phones at this moment in time, you would getting 280 grams of gold out of that, out of a ton of cell phones. Now, think about this, you all miners, a large amount of you guys are mining companies, which I hear look what you actually can do with, how much you are doing in order to get 280 grams of gold out of the ground. The same we do with tires. if you are going out and you're now putting the value into tires, we're stopping using tires as a fuel and we're using it as a commodity. And as a commodity is, if you're wanting to make tires, you need about 3 times as much energy to produce a tire than you are actually getting out of it when you are burning it. So what happens here is that you're wanting this retained value. Best explanation is this: if you're using tires to burn in the cement industry, you are competing with 920 a ton of coal. If you are using it as a supplement to bitumen, you're competing with a product which is 10,000 rand a ton. So you can see the difference which we are creating. So Redisa's role here, particularly when we're starting on the tires, is to recapture that value and actually create an industry around that. So what happens here is that we take over the concept of extended producer responsibility. And that by himself creates a problem for a large amount of producers. And I'm saying in terms of risk management, if you are a producer, you actually have to look at that. So what happens here is that when you're going out and producing a tire, in terms of South African law and many of the European laws, is you're responsible what happens to that tire on the end of life. Redisa goes in, you pay us the 2.30 rand a kilogram in South Africa, and for that we take that extended producer responsibility over and now deal and create a viable industry. In that term, we create jobs of people which are working into that, we're creating industry payers which are now be able to recycle. But if you are an industry payer and you want to build a viable recycling industry, what happens is that you need to invest a large amount of money. So you need to go out and actually spend a hell of a lot of money. And you can't spend that money if you ain't having a guarantee of the raw material. So what Redisa on top of it does is it clears the question who owns the waste. So once it has a value, you now need to question also who owns the waste. So what happens is you build, for example, we have a company here in South Africa now which builds an 800 million rand plant to recycle tires. We guaranteeing for the next years them the supply of these tires, which then makes it possible for them to create and build a recycling industry and builds this bitumen plant. Basically what they're doing is they're grinding the tires into a dust. But second of all there's also a secondary industry now being created because you now have this raw material which comes into the right prices because it's subsidized by our fee and now creates a secondary industry down the line. The idea of any kind of waste management plan is ultimately that it works by itself. So ultimately what should happen is that this industry will pay for himself. If we're taking the tire industry, for example, at this moment in time, if you are a mining company and you're having these large waste tires, ultimately you want to create an environment in which these tires could be sold to an industry which uses them as a raw material. And with commodity prices having done that, what they have done over the last 10 years and particularly in the rubber, into that it is very clearly to be seen that you will eventually end up that tires, in these cases, will be sold as a raw material into industry to create other products and bring them up. Now what have we done as Redisa during that time we gone first of all and we are establishing also an environmental rating system. So where we're going back and we are encouraging manufacturers through an environmental rating system, which we're doing together with the University of the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. We're creating a tire testing facility, the biggest one in the Southern Hemisphere. There we're testing and giving every tire an environmental rating. That environmental rating will then motivate manufacturers to actually make tires which are more environmentally friendly. What means environmentally friendly? I'm saying to people, the first thing you're wanting to have is extended life cycles. You're wanting to make sure that manufacturers have some sort of drive why they would want to make a tire which lasts longer in this. So we're trying to organize, if you imagine for a moment, if you go out and having tires, average life cycle of a tire 40,000 kilometers for a passenger tire, if you could extend this to 80,000 kilometers, you just halved your waste problem. in similar plans implemented in Europe, where, for example, general waste, Grüner Punkt, was established in Germany, where you went out and where everybody paid on the packaging industry, and then went out and people got charged on the packaging industry on per kilogram, per the kind of waste it is, and the mixture of the waste. You saw is that the waste, the volume of waste, would drop by half over the first 2 years as after the implementation of a fee. So you achieved, by purely implementing the fee, you already achieved what you wanted to achieve in the first place. Now, what has Redisa done up to now is, we are 7 months in operation now in South Africa. We have established 3 depots. We are processing at this moment in time 3,011 tons last month, and we're supposed to be doing 25,000 tons per month. We have approximately 1,500 collection points throughout the country, and we're collecting from 131, and I know by the end of this month it's going to be about 270 collection points. We have up to now created 190 jobs, and the end result will be is that there will 10,000 jobs be created in this collection. And people say to me, well, how are you going to create 10,000 jobs? What actually happens is that you have a situation in South Africa whereby 50% of the tires do not come out of tire shops. So what happens is that the 50% of all our tires, particularly passenger tires and truck tires, go into the informal sector. And we collect them via waste pickers. So we employ the services of waste pickers in order to pick them out of townships and out of the rural areas and bring them back to collection points and depots, which then take out and bring back. In order to do that and to stay within the tax laws of South Africa, you need about 7,000 to 8,000 waste pickers in that. We administrate them through our offices, and we pay them within 3 days when they're doing the jobs. And we have systems in terms of how we're going to do that. The next one is that if you go back and you do the transportation, so we have transporters which go out and register with Redisa. Once the transport is registered, all tire shops and collection places in the country phone us and say they are registered with us. They phone us and say, I'm the Super Quick in Cape Town, a tire place in Cape Town. I have 100 waste tires, or here's the mine, I need to have them collected. We go back and allocate them to a transporter. He goes there, delivers them either to a depot or to a recycling operation. We pay him also within 3 or 4 days, and there again is another lot of jobs created. Then the next one is because of the logistics throughout the country, we're creating approximately 100 to 120 depots. These depots are manned to weigh and then bale tires. We have worked out if you are baling tires, better, about 25% better to bale them and pack them on trucks than you would if you shredded them. And then those get delivered from the depots to recycling operation. Now we're incentivizing recyclers down the line to first of all create tires either via shredding, or the other one is via pyrolysis systems or other systems which are there in order to recycle the tires. But we particularly are interested in those which build secondary industry, so the bitumen or the carpet or the shoes or the tires you can make out of it, so that we are closing the circle and creating a circular economy. But the important part here is to see all these little things have happened by himself, individually already. I mean, people have been recycling. The problem has been there isn't no money in it. So there is nobody which actually pays it. And the revolutionary side of the Redisa system, which we introduced in South Africa, is that we placed the money in it. And it was my beginning statement, which I said is everybody would recycle if there's money into that. They don't recycle because there is no money. And that's what you're having to do. And we are using the extended producer responsibility in order to place that money into the market. That's a 15 minutes, guys, sort of joint of what we do as Redisa. If you need more to know about this, go to www.redisa.org.za. We have an extensive website. Our telephone numbers are there. There's my email address as well. As we are happy to contact you to speak to the individual mines. We have a show stand here also where we can inform you, where we have material and where we can go forward and show you how we're implementing and when we are coming into your area and when we are recycling tires in your area. Thank you very much.